Hello and welcome to this course on organisational values, how to practice what we preach. I'm Ian Lawson, I'm an associate with the Cass Centre for Charity Effectiveness, and I've got many years experience of working with organisations to develop leadership and look at culture change, and in particular deeply involved in the recent survey on values in charities done by the Centre, on which a lot of this course is based. This survey was one of the most comprehensive done in the third sector. It included 130 organisations representing over 50,000 members of staff, engaging over 200,000 volunteers. So it's drawing from a very wide base. And in this course, aimed particularly for managers who are perhaps thinking about introducing or refreshing values for the first time, or maybe for an organisation to do a quick sense check on where they're at, we're going to be working through 4 modules. So the first module, we're going to look at the what and the why of organisational values. Then we'll move on to building or refreshing organisational values. The third one will consider the practical application of values. And the final one will summarise some of the top tips on creating values and keeping them alive. At the end of this course, you should be able to understand the benefits of having values, to get some really practical ideas on how to create and refresh them, to see practical opportunities to embed them in daily working practices, and above all, to be clear how to keep them alive in the organisation. So let's move into Module 1, the what and why of organisational values. Most organisations will have a stated value set. The degree to which they are a reality can vary widely, but it's really, really important for any organisation to have an alignment between what they say and how they actually live in practice, particularly so in the third sector, where organisations have such a strong sense of purpose and of making a difference. Values actually encapsulate why we exist and how we should go about things. And going public on these, both internally and externally, can be extremely helpful in getting people to really think about them, really start to live them, and in essence, hold ourselves to account. Research that's been done into the effectiveness of organisations consistently says that those with higher levels of engagement are likely to impact by up to 20% more. And organisations which have staff and stakeholders who really get the values and really live them have much higher levels of engagement. So from this survey, here are some of the key reasons that organisations looked to either refresh or build a set of values. Firstly, to create alignment and clarity, energy and a shared understanding between members of the organisation, very often as a result of 2 different organisations coming together. In several instances, leaders saw it as an opportunity to re-energise the organisation. Sometimes from a low starting point, sometimes when they were doing well. An opportunity to actually build on success, but maybe rethink the emphases. It's an opportunity to not only support your organisational brand, but also in some cases to create a new one. One organisation, for example, shifted from being a provider of telephone conference facilities to actually becoming a champion of combating isolation and loneliness. They can be really helpful to motivate and empower people. Values are often both aspirational as well as being lived in organisations but not yet being the norm. And they provide a great opportunity to be clear about the sort of standards of performance and of behaviour and of professionalism that are expected in the organisation. Sometimes they're putting a name to what's already happening in the organisation. Sometimes they're highlighting some new behaviours or some new emphases to help the culture of the organisation change. And so it's really a great opportunity to explore what this would look like in practice. So fundamentally underpinning all this, the importance of values is they do underpin the delivery of the purpose, the vision, the mission for the organisation and the way it goes about things. And a really helpful point made by many organisations but encapsulated by this quotation from Matt Hyde of the National Union of Students is remember the discussion is as important as the destination. So that brings us to the end of Module 1. I've got an exercise that I'd like you to try. So individually, or with a team or group you can do this. Think about examples of where values, what we're here for, how we've gone about things, where they've influenced decisions you've made as an individual. Here are a couple of examples from our survey. In one organisation, my value was around empowerment. A manager empowered a frontline practitioner to lead on a really important PR event. In another, speaking to the value of inclusion, the organisation went out of its way to involve parents and clients in actually setting organisational objectives to reflect this value. So if this exercise is performed as a team, ask people to share their examples and discuss them, and reflect on the importance of how they actually do guide our everyday work. This will help emphasise the importance of values and lift them from the page. So I look forward to working with you again on Module 2, where we'll be looking at building or refreshing organisational values.